Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. Call of Duty just messed up big time when it comes to Black Ops 6. Obviously, over the past few days, we've seen an absolute ton of gameplay and images leak regarding Black Ops 6 multiplayer. Presumably, essentially, the entire beta build of the game leaked. A bunch of different people have been posting screenshots of the menus, create a class, the gunsmith, your perks, everything like that. There's even been people streaming footage of the game on Kick and on Twitch recently too, which is just absolutely nuts. And leaks happen in Call of Duty. Like, for a long time now, this has been a thing where the new game ends up leaking in some capacity early. This particular leak, though, for Black Ops 6, where so much multiplayer content ended up surfacing and getting posted, is one of the larger leaks in Call of Duty history, and it might just be a sign of what's to come in future years as well, and it's kind of Call of Duty's fault. Now, in previous years, things have leaked for various different reasons, and leaks can be all sorts of things. They can be word of mouth, where maybe someone who works at Call of Duty at Activision at one of the studios talks to someone who has a source and they get some confirmation that way. Hey, is this going to be in the game this year? Someone from in Call of Duty working on the game says, oh yeah, it's probably going to be the thing, we're working on it. And then one of the insider, information sources in the community, whether it's Charlie Intel or Insider Gaming or, Bloomberg or whoever, they end up posting, hey, we've heard this about the upcoming Call of Duty. There's also leaks, like I think it was for MW3, where one of the QA testers for the game was actually just straight up taking screenshots and taking some footage and sending it to leakers in the community so that they could then post it as well, which was a bit strange. This time around, though, it seems like the reason that almost the entirety of Black Ops 6 multiplayer has leaked is, surprisingly enough, because of the Call of Duty HQ. Yes, Call of Duty's own creation now is essentially leaking their game early. I know a lot of people think that some leaks are done intentionally to build hype or to gauge feedback. I can tell you right now, no one working at Call of Duty from a studio standpoint, from a marketing standpoint, from any standpoint really, wants this stuff to surface because they spend days and weeks planning out their marketing schemes. You have everything going on with like the truth lies and the truth dies and everything. We've got Call of Duty Next coming up, and then a lot of the stuff that was probably going to be featured on those reveals surfaces via leaks. And again, it stems from COD's own creation with their Call of Duty HQ app. What is supposed to be this seamless transition from COD year to year, making Call of Duty easier to experience and easier to play than ever before, has now turned into a crazy sharp double-edged sword. There's good and there's bad with the COD HQ, right? The good is that in theory, year over year, COD updates, COD transitions should be more seamless. You have things like the Warzone integrations every year with the new premium title. They should be more seamless and less problematic because of the COD HQ. You have ideas like carry forward content where guns and operators from one game carry over into the next game. That stuff is made easier because of the Call of Duty HQ. The problem with the COD HQ is that now that all games are being built into this off of the same unified engine, they go through and they update things for Black Ops 6, let's say, for instance, and because Modern Warfare 3 is currently running on that same version of the Call of Duty HQ app, data miners, leakers are able to go in and certain things are accessible that shouldn't be. And that's the case with Black Ops 6 here. Better Than Alex, who is the Twitter user who started leaking all this stuff for Black Ops 6 a few days back, ended up posting essentially what was found here is a version of Call of Duty, the 1.49 update version, which is actually coming up here soon, that was uploaded to, I believe, the PlayStation database. And then through using a jailbroken PlayStation console, you're actually able to go into the database and download those versions of the apps, from my understanding at least. And that's how so many people are able to actually see this now. If you have a jailbroken PS4 or PS5, you can go through and download the database games before they are officially public. And that's what happened here. So you have this beta version of Black Ops 6 uploaded to the Call of Duty HQ app, the same app that MW3 and Warzone are running off of now. And then suddenly when this 1.49 update goes live into the database on PlayStation, those who can access that stuff download the update early, and lo and behold, they open it up. It's like, wait a minute, this isn't just MW3 anymore. No, no, no. Black Ops 6 is available here. Oh, and it just so happens to be what could be the entire beta build. Now, better than Alex does mention, hey, it's possible maybe they push some hot fixes out to change some things, or they update this build a little bit more prior to the beta fully going live, obviously at the end of the month. But for them to go through on the COD HQ, upload what is essentially, again, the entire Black Ops 6 beta almost a month early with an update scheduled for MW3 and Warzone, and then have it all leak is, that's rough. You know, that's a major screw up internally that essentially, while yes, it is at the fault of those who have the jailbroken PS4s and PS5s that are able to go in and actually share this stuff and leak it out, it's accessible only because COD's trying to force this COD HQ stuff, and it then backfires tremendously. And you may recall back with Modern Warfare 2, during that year, they had all these updates to Warzone Mobile that were going out that was somewhat tied to the Call of Duty HQ in some capacity, just because of the shared content that mobile and now the standard game have. And because of all the mobile updates, we also saw a ton of stuff for Modern Warfare 3 leak out way before, you know, Call of Duty Next revealed stuff for MW3, or way before we even got significant announcements for MW3. The HQ was also starting to be the reason and be the cause for things leaking out with that, which means that in the future, as we see more and more updates pushed out for Modern Warfare 3 currently, but then as we get into the Black Ops 6 year, on and on and on, we're going to continue to see major things leak out for other Call of Duty titles, probably earlier and earlier, especially now that more people know to look for this sort of stuff when it does end up getting uploaded to the various different databases. And now with the COD HQ on PC, of course, just simply being able to data mine, like how we get a lot of our leaks for new weapons and operators and seasonal stuff every single season, that stuff is also going to have, you know, new references for future COD updates and future COD games as well. So this is a major screw up and a major mess up from COD's standpoint, because their innovation to ideally make things more seamless and easier year over year is now completely, getting in the way of their major marketing plans and their major announcements and reveals. And unless they change something drastically, which I don't really know how you could change the COD HQ to prevent this stuff other than just not simply uploading things to it and using a newer version of COD HQ than having to update that every single time you release a major update within Call of Duty in general. You'd have to basically take away the Call of Duty HQ, get rid of that, and go back to what they were doing before this all started, where every single Call of Duty every single year is its own individual game and own individual download. Which I feel like if they're still sticking with the every single COD is built on the unified Call of Duty engine, would still be viable. Like, the big thing before was that you'd have an individual Infinity Ward title drop one year on its own engine. The next year, an individual Treyarch game drop on its own engine, but then you'd have to go back to Warzone and integrate everything into that game with its engine and everything it's running off of, and it caused too much conflict and it was just not ideal. So in comes the COD HQ, sort of resolves that. But if you were just simply going out and creating each game on a unified engine as is, there might be a few more hiccups and a few more bumps in the road, but it might prevent situations like this where you're having some of the most significant leaks ever in Call of Duty's history surfacing because of something you created. Frankenstein's turning on you now, right? It's a pretty wild situation, and definitely something that I think a lot of people at Call of Duty are probably going to be considering now, looking at what's surfaced in the past couple of days, and probably will continue to surface in the coming weeks as we see more and more updates go out for MW3 and we get closer to the launch of Black Ops 6. Like, imagine what's going to happen when they upload the finished file for Black Ops 6 to the PlayStation database, and we have this same situation repeat itself, except instead of it being the multiplayer, beta, it's the campaign, and it's zombies, and it's all of multiplayer, and essentially the entire game gets revealed before it's out, right? There could be a pretty crazy situation going on there as well. So if anything does end up leaking, surfacing, or maybe they just go all out with some official reveals now that a lot of info is out there, you guys know this is the place to be to stay up to date with everything going on in COD. So feel free to hit that subscribe button and turn on those post notifications. And if you did enjoy the video, a like rating is always really appreciated. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in, and until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you later. Peace out.